and welcome to the latest episode of the Third Half podcast, a podcast where we talk all things sport.fun, covering both football and American football. But today is going to be a little bit different. We've got a couple of guests. I've got other shoulder. I forgot I'm not mirrored. I've got a World Cup shirt in my background. We've got a few guests, Maxime, Caleb from the team joining us today. We're going to go through a little bit predictions, bit of a warm up, bit of a what do we think is going to happen, and just a general kind of chat about the kind of the world at the moment. Laird, how has your week been this week, mate?
It's been great. Excited because like everyone is talking World Cup now. I think they were waiting for whether to be depressed all summer because Arsenal won the Champions League, or everybody can be happy because they didn't. And so everybody's happy coming into the World Cup now.
Happy days. Caleb, how you been?
All good, man. All good. Obviously, yeah, it's been a busy week and going to be a busier one as the week goes on. But the World Cup fever's here, so yeah, exciting times.
Perfect. And it's a nice to meet you, Maxime. First time on the channel. Whenever I've been in kind of Laird streams with Sean, I've often seen you typing away and firing questions and opinions and thoughts. And I think it was the last week I came straight out and said to Laird, I was like, we need to get Maxime on. So it's a pleasure to have you. How you been?
I've been like Andrew's boss, so he feels like he has to like invite me on his shows now. But no, great to be here, and you need a French guy in this World Cup, so I'm going to be the French guy rooting for the French team and only the French team.
We wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, I mean, so myself, very, very clearly English. Laird, very, very clearly American. Maxime, as you said, French. And Caleb, so kind of, you've got a bit of a mixed background. What nation are you following? Who are you going to be supporting? What's it come down to?
Yeah, I could technically go for like there's three options. There's Bafana. I grew up in South Africa, so there's if I want to go for the underdog story and just have a bit of vibes, that could be one. And then I'm half British, half Portuguese, so I probably lean a little bit on the England side because I've grown up there for quite some time. But yeah, Portugal always has a close place in my heart. So I'm going to back Portugal when it comes to this discussion, and probably most of the World Cup as well. I think they've got a good chance. We're discussing before this all kicked off. And yeah, I think they've not got bad odds this year.
It's that kind of skirting around the glory hunting of who's got the better team this year. It's, do you go for the homegrown country, or do you try and take the win?
Well, I am a United fan, so I guess you could probably kind of throw me into the glory hunter category in itself. So yeah, not far off.
No, happy days. And welcome to, we've got Mike Baston, professional gambler, Luca Puka, and Smiling Campervan. I didn't know Campervans could smile, but welcome all. Thank you for joining us. Please give a comment when we make awful takes, good takes, or kind of any explanations of why the fuck is that our take. But I think we need to kick it off at the very, very top. Everybody wants to know who's going to win the World Cup, what's going to be the final, what two nations are going to go the distance, and who's going to be lifting the World Cup. Who wants to start us off?
Laird is going to start because he has a disastrous opinion, and I think it'd be easier to go on after that.
Is that assuming that I think we win it?
No.
Oh,
I'd hope not.
No. I tried to be realistic. Before I answer the question, fuck it, I'll just answer the question. I will say though that I didn't appreciate like just how much it matters where you finish in the group, just in terms of like where you go. So like when I was doing my bracket on sdfn.com, if anybody wants to easily fill out a whole bracket, simple find for anybody who was looking for it. But like I was going through it and I was like, oh yeah, I think like Germany could go far, or Spain could go far. And all of a sudden I had them playing. No, I had Germany, France in the quarters, or even round of 32. And I was just like, that can't be right. And I like literally went back and I was like, how did this happen? And with this like expanded World Cup where like most teams are going to make the round of 30, the knockouts anyway, it's just, it was all over the place. And I was like, all right, I don't really want these two teams facing. What do I have to do to make sure that doesn't happen? And you just like go back and you're like, oh, this game I picked to draw has to be, and it's just like all over the place. And so I think the draw, like wherever the knockouts, however the bracket lines up, there's going to be like a very clear top team that is like, oh, they're going to have to go through like Germany, Portugal, France in order to win it. But just on the top of my head, I think Spain wins it.
Interesting. Yeah, I saw one of the ones that came out. There's a chance that Iraq and USA also face each other, which would be entertaining to see the least. There's also a lot of chances of Portugal, Argentina in there, which I think which would be beautiful, but I feel like it's such a pain if that's in the quarterfinals. Like if that happens in quarterfinals, that's just so, I feel like that is the final. Like I think everyone would have that moment of like, this is like that moment that everyone always dreamed of. So if that happens quarterfinals, it'll be pretty disappointing because I was doing my bracket as well and it hit in quarterfinals.
Same thing
for that matchup, and I was not happy. Like I don't want it to happen that early on.
Obviously, France is going to win it. It's like without a question. But I think it's not going to be that like. Andrew, you just said like everyone is going to go to the knockouts anyway, and I think like everyone is wrong about that because like remember like the past World Cups, maybe not 2022, but like the past World Cups, I was shocked like in 2018, for example, like the number of upsets you had in the group stage. And I think like after a very long season for most players, like you see French players, for example, they had like 2 days of vacation before going to the camp. I think you will see a lot of injuries like before the World Cup. During like you've seen like in many teams like already injuries in the friendlies, and I think you'll see that the best team is not going to win. It's like the team with the most depth is going to win. And I think France has the most depth. Like it's like the B team, the second team for France could actually win against a lot of World Cup squad. So I think that's why France is going to win, and I think we are going to see a lot of upsets and a lot of like favorites going into like maybe the third place or maybe the fourth place. I think we are underestimating how like small countries are going to rock this competition.
I thought you were going to hedge, by the way, on France. So you were like, they're all hurt, so that's why we might. But you just doubled down on it, actually.
I was going to say, isn't France's B team just the Senegal first team, or is it the other way around anyway? Like,
yeah, it's funny to see like how many players are actually born in France are playing the World Cup. It's like we have like I think 75 or 78 players that are born in France. We have the best country in the world in terms of football. No, but it's a fact. I mean, like you see how many players are raised in France. Trained in France, in French clubs, and especially in the Paris area, it's like a very big area for football. And yeah, I mean, we are proud of that.
Yeah, MLO making a brilliant point there as well, saying, can they play together? And go on, I'll let Caleb speak, but I do want to come back to Maxime and ask, what do you think that the team is? But we'll ask that in a minute. Go on, Caleb.
I was just going to say, I think the only chance that like that France doesn't do what everyone expects to is just the chemistry. Like, I think obviously Mbappe always does well in these things, but like there's obviously a lot of talk around him in general with the Madrid stuff, like what goes on there. Also, like there's so many huge personalities in there. Like, is there going to be issues of like who gets to take certain things, who's in charge? Like you think about Elise, he's having the best season of his life. He's going to want to be that main guy just as much as Mbappe. Same as Dembele, just won Champions League. So like, does there become a clash? Like how well can they come together? I think the only risk with that team. But if they can make it work, then they've got all the talent in the world, really.
I think like it's not even a subject. I think Deschamps is actually like a very bad coach in terms of like getting you to like the team. I think like France is going to be hated by everyone because I don't think we're going to display like the beautiful game. But like watch the French against Morocco semi-final in 2022. It was like we didn't have the possession. We only played in counters and we won 2-0. And it was like so bad to watch actually. But he doesn't care about the displaying of like talent and stuff like that, the technical stuff and stuff like that. He doesn't care. He just wants to win. And so I think he will find a way with the squad. And unpopular opinion, but I think if Mbappe gets injured in the group stage, it's actually better for us than the contrary.
It's such an interesting thing when you talk about kind of personalities, because you look at the other nations. I think the reason why Spain are so strong is because their togetherness. One thing that people are kind of saying about Tuchel is England's squad is very much set for tactical formation rather than cramming in the Palmers, the Fodens, the Bellinghams, everybody into one. And France have this massive issue of saying, well, actually, Dembele is better down the middle. Mbappe then probably needs to drift over to the left. Do you play at least, say, in the 10 or out wide? Like, do you get Cherky in, who's kind of been in and out? You've got Doué, Barcola on the bench. All of these different problems that Deschamps has to kind of now try and fix. So it's quite an interesting one. But leading on to the next question, when we actually then go back and talk about individual brilliance, what are kind of people thinking for the Golden Boot? You talk about France. They've got Mbappe and Dembele, who probably are in the race for Golden Boot themselves together. Do you think they win it, or do you think it goes elsewhere?
Again, I think Laird has the worst opinion, so I think he should start.
I think because I picked Spain, I have to go there, and so I'll just take Yamal. Like, I think there's a very good chance that this is like the Yamal World Cup.
I had Yamal as well. I just do think I think everyone has Yamal, Spain going so far that you have to pick whoever one of the teams that you think are the furthest. I think Portugal have the chance to also go win it, but they not offensively. There's nobody in there that I think is gonna Ronaldo's not going to be going and doing that now. So I think Yamal. My final that I had was Spain Portugal in the end of my prediction. So I think naturally Yamal's probably going to win that side.
See, I went for Kane for mine, because I think the problem with Yamal is he's such a strong focal point, and as a Liverpool fan, I'm used to teams just locking up Salah because they were like, he's too deadly, and then it frees up, the Nico Williams down the left. I can never say that Orizi Bial, whatever the hell his bloody name is. You got Torres and players like that, where I think. Oh, there you go. So rare. Yeah, just put it in the chat. I still can't pronounce it. Is that his name? Oya. What? How do you? Right. Let me read it.
You need a TH with the Z. Oyarzabal.
Load of bollocks. But so to the point where I think I think Yamal will score and he'll dominate, but I think as the tournament goes, he'll get locked up a little bit and he'll probably get a goal every other game. But I think his creativity will be kind of bringing it from the defense through and then playing the assist. Whereas I've just got Kane as that guy who can go and create so much on his own from deep penalty spot headers. But yeah, Maxime's going to tell me it's Mbappe that's getting it, and I'll show.
No.
I'm actually going to say it's Haaland, I think, because Norway is going to go into the quarterfinals, pretty sure, and maybe into the semifinals. And they're going to beat the shit out of their group and probably us. And I think Haaland scores 5 or 6 in the group stage and might win it. And so I think Yamal is not the right choice here because he's not going to play much in the group stage. Probably going to start 45 minutes, 60 minutes. But I think once it's 3-0 or something, he's out. And I'm not sure he's the one scoring all the goals for Spain, and also Mbappe not the right pick because I think talent is too wide in France, and Olise is going to score some, Cherky is going to score some, but Norway, Haaland is going to be there, one guy they go to, and I think he's going to score massively.
That's Norway's a nation where I've got this for later on, where they are probably such dark horses. Yes, everybody knows Haaland, but people go, it's only Haaland. And we've seen, I've seen, I think Norway's starting lineup is basically 8 players from one club in Norway, which just pisses the league. They're such a together side. Just want to throw it into the comments. MLO saying Doku and Luis Diaz are dark horses. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think Luis Diaz specifically is a good one. I think Doku as well, but I think Luis Diaz is the one that a lot of people are sleeping on quite heavily on. I think in general, he's going to be one of the ones I'm picking at the moment.
They played against Costa Rica like in a friendly, and I checked the stats on SofaScore, and he had 10 out of 10 as a rating, and like all the team has like 7.5 max, and he only got like I think a goal and an assist on a 3-1 score, and so I think Luis Diaz is going to carry Colombia. I think I have Colombia as like the big upset nation for this tournament, and I think playing in Mexico like their first game, then in Miami their third game, I think they can actually like get out of their group first against Portugal. I think the Miami game, Portugal Colombia, is going to be actually pretty crazy, and I think they can go out first and have like a pretty easy round of 16 and manageable round of 8. So I think yes, Luis Diaz probably, but probably Haaland is a better pick for this one.
Yeah, it's a difficult one as well when you look at those players from quote unquote lesser nations that aren't going to maybe go past the quarterfinals to go and get it. But Mike Baston, just the second half of that message, they're saying, you know, someone scores 4 or 5 in a group game and they get a huge jump on the rest. And so a name for me would be Julian Alvarez in that aspect, who I think will crush the group stages. However, I don't know it later on in the competition whether they keep up that same rhythm, but it'll be interesting. Laird?
Yeah, well, I was going to say like the winner is going to end up with like 7 or 8 goals usually. Like it's not like they have to hit 20, and so you know you have a bunch of players in the 4 or 5 range. But yeah, if you can get to 7 or 8, like you could very much win it that way.
Yeah, but it's probably going to be 9 because you have one more game. Like
That's
so fair. And I think like the difference is because group stage is going to be most likely relatively easier than previous competitions. So like probably everyone expect like 6-0 from Spain against Curacao, I think, or Cape Verde, or
yeah.
anyway, like you have like some matchups or there you expect like 10 goals in a game. So we'll see how it happens.
Norway, Iraq is the perfect one for your Haaland call.
Yeah,
but then the rest of that group is pretty hard, right? Like that, I'd say, is one of the toughest groups with France and stuff like that. Do you really think Holland's gonna be able to like dominate as much?
No, I think they beat Senegal. I think the problem with us is we start always our tournament slowly and very slowly. And so I think we draw Senegal, I think we lose Norway, and I think we win Iraq. And I think because of the goal difference, I think it has to be a tiebreaker. I think we can be one of the 8 best third place. So no, I think Norway dominates the group.
Flipping it on its head completely now. So who do we think is going to be the biggest underperforming player? So, you know, the heights of the Golden Boot, potentially even somebody in this conversation. I've got 2 names who's going to be the biggest disappointment. I'd like to lead because I'm going to piss one person off, and I think you guys might agree with me on the rest. So, despite my Rivaldo shirt behind me, I've got down Brazil to kind of fuck up this competition. So one of my names is Neymar. I think in terms of biggest disappointment of a player, I don't know if we even see him play any minutes. And if we do, I think it'll be the last 10, 15 minutes of the game, probably goes down injured again. But I think the biggest disappointment player for me is going to be Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo will be getting subbed off 60, 70 minutes into the game. And I think as soon as he gets subbed off, the team will play better. I think he'll be a frustration for the other teammates. I think he's one of those players where I've seen so many people being like, Messi and Ronaldo World Cup, how good it is. I think Ronaldo's going to be
it's a different world now. I do think it's a different world now. I don't think it's going to be dog shit, but I also do wonder how they're going to set up with it. Like, I don't know. I think it'd be ignorant if they do set up in the same way of like trying to abuse and use him so much, like force him. I think even he's aware of that. Like, I would think that at this stage you'd hope that you'd see the bigger picture of it. Maybe not. I can see that. My side is a little bit different of like, because like I think all 3 of those that you met, like all the 3, like Neymar, Ronaldo, Messi, are all just like pure names now, right? Like obviously they're still world class, like they're the best that there's been for generations, but like they're so far gone their prime. Like now we're looking at the Haalands, the Neymars, not the Neymars, the Yamals and everything like that. So I think it's like it naturally, like from like a standard viewer, probably because they all think that and like they're going to do the same. I think Mbappe is going to be one of the big ones for me. I just don't think I think after last World Cup and everything that happened and how loved he was and how great of a performance he had, I think he's going to struggle now that there's so many other stars also kind of stealing some of the limelight in the France squad. So yeah, I think Mbappe is the ones. I think he'll still have a good tournament, but not to the same heights as people expect.
Do you think that will be an underperformance from Mbappe, or do you think that's an over expectation from everybody else?
Probably a bit of both. I mean, the expectation he set from last World Cup is pretty high. So it's can he go on to carry them again when I just think it's France is not going to be carried by one person this time. Obviously they had other players, but he was that guy that everyone kind of saw that last World Cup.
Yeah. That's
not the case now. It could be Elisa, it could be Dembele, it could be any of them, it could be all of them. I just think it's everyone's expectation to what will turn out will be a bit different.
So is it just kind of a general belief that Mbappe is just so unbelievably petty that if Dembele gets all the attention, he just whines about it and he doesn't play well? Is that what we're saying?
The overall chemistry, they don't need Mbappe. They need Mbappe, but they don't absolutely need him as much. Did you see that stat that he was the 344th out of 344th in terms of defensive work as any player? And it's just at some point you can see some of the morale getting affected there. It's affected Madrid. Can it affect the international team? Potentially. Maxime obviously does not agree on that side. So I'd be interested to get his opinion on it. But yeah, go on.
No. I'm a big believer in Didier Deschamps, and I'm a big believer in the fact that the players around him, around Mbappe in the French squad are not the same players than in Madrid. And I think Mbappe doesn't run the show as much in France than in Madrid. And I think that everyone is laughing at him for being such a bad defender, not a contributor to the team's defense. And so I think he's willing to show everyone that everyone is wrong about him. And I think Deschamps is the best coach to do that. And I have no worries about Mbappe's implication. And I think you're going to see in the first game him overplaying the defending card and pressing on players and etc. So I'm not worried about that. But I think you're right in the sense that Mbappe is going to be overshadowed maybe by Olise. I think Olise is the best football player in the world right now. I think it's the first major international competition Olise is going to play. The Olympics don't count really. And so I think everyone will look at Olise. And that might make Mbappe a bit mad. So I think competition is good. And he doesn't have any competition in Madrid. So I think it's totally different.
Don't you think some of the a lot of the players he's surrounded by are the same players he was surrounded by at PSG and now Madrid though? If you look at the France squad, that is quite a lot of some of the players he played with in the past. So there still is some level of similarity there. Even the midfield is a little bit of Madrid, obviously some of the forwards are PSG that he played with a little bit. So there is some similarities. I get there's a full squad, and he might believe more that France could win this. For his own ego, he's I want to win this so much more. Whereas Madrid's been a shit show, so maybe he's lost a bit of that motivation. So I get that part, but still some similar players behind him.
But just to finish on that, I think what you need to watch is Dembele's interview before the UCL final. He said, if we want to win the World Cup, we have to play together. And I think he thinks, and everybody reads it he talks about Mbappe. And so I think no one is scared. Dembele, I think Olise doesn't really care. Cherki also doesn't really care. I think these guys are you just play with us or we're going to lose. So we are not going to save your ass, and so play with us. So I think the atmosphere is a bit different.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I can say some pretty hot takes from both of you. I think it is such a difficult one when there's so much kind of media pressure, fan pressure on different players and different things to happen, because if so Maxime, if you're correct in what you say and Mbappe goes, right, I'm going to maybe drift out onto the left, I'm going to play for the team, and we're going to let France go and win the World Cup, well then fans are going to say Mbappe's washed, he's not good enough, he's not scoring enough goals. So it's this fine line of Mbappe needs to get goals, needs to get assists, needs to perform well, but he also needs to let other players do the same. And you kind of can't have one and the other. You know, you have to pick or choose. So it's an interesting one. I think we're going to throw it over to Laird's realm here. We've got the first ever World Cup being hosted by 3 nations. We've got the United States of America, Canada, and little old Mexico. What do you kind of think in terms of that? Obviously, 3 host nations has allowed a lot of shit nations in. Do we think all of the host nations deserve to be in here? And more importantly, kind of, who do you think is the best host nation? Who do you think will go the furthest? Or are they just all out in the group stage and a load of shit? What's go on, Laird?
I'm sorry. Are you saying that because there are 3 host nations, like that's why Curacao got in? Like we're blaming the 3 host nations for an expanded World Cup and not like FIFA money grabbing? Just I just want to get that clear before we start. Like that's what we're doing?
More to the point. Well, okay. So if that money grabbing happened in a different host nation, then they wouldn't be in there. The only reason it's happened is because of the 3 host nations. At least one of the shit teams would have been dropped out in the. I don't even remember what region you guys are in, but that's one of my many. CONCACAF, whatever the bloody hell is.
No, the US is the best of the 3, but it's not.
You're joking. Hang on, are we dead again?
Fuck's sake.
Let's go on Twitch,
today,
guys. I think died again. Yeah, Mike is saying that. Yeah, maybe we just record the end and like just put it on YouTube.
So I'm fairly certain this continues to record.
Nope.
So we can keep going if we want, and then.
I checked last video. I think it recorded, like cut off midway through.
But I'm saying like I record everything separately, so like we could upload it later.
Yeah, otherwise we'll be backwards and forwards.
At least I can now cancel my Streamlabs membership here. Never use them again.
Okay, let's maybe do like a. So you
Move on the next one.
Yeah. So the USA has an easier path than like Mexico, and Canada's not good. Like as much as we want to, like you're like, oh, I know that guy. There's Alphonso Davies. They must be good. Like they're not that good. So Mexico, Czech Republic, South Korea, and South Africa, which like doesn't. It's I had that down as my toughest group, and it's not because there's any like overwhelming favorite, but like that's why. That none of those 3 teams, Mexico, I think is favored, but they wouldn't be favored if it was anywhere else. And I'm just not sure it's enough to make it that far. So like, will they get out of the group? Sure. But unfortunately, they're just kind of all equally mid. And so it's like the US team, I haven't spoken to anybody here who is like overly confident that they're going to perform well. And there are some like great video, like propaganda videos out of like, showing like the 1980 men's hockey team that like beat the USSR, and it was like miracles can happen. And it's like we're so far away from like winning the world. But so we're at the point where people who don't follow football at all here, they're not like, so could we win it? Like they know we can't win it, and so it's like none of them are that good. But I think the US. Like, I think they all get eliminated around the same time. Maybe Canada doesn't get out, but I think round of 32 is the legitimate like peak for the US and Mexico. And again, it kind of comes down to where they fall in the bracket. Like all of a sudden, like, well, I was literally just about to say, like, if the US gets Brazil, but they're not going to get past Brazil, but like some Belgium's not any good. Like we all think they are, because we're like, we recognize the players, but they're, we've been joking that they've had the same team other than Doku. They've had the same team for what feels like 20 years. And like Croatia is very good, but they're getting old. And so I think there's going to be like a little bit of a changing of the guard of these teams that were used to be having really good, but I don't think they're being changed because the US is going to steamroll them. And so like, I would love to be super optimistic and sit here and be like, they have a legitimate chance to win this, but they're just so far away that I just can't.
Just gonna be happy to be there, right? Just happy to watch them to get. It's like one of those nations, like happy to be participating, but also like if they get to the round of 32 and you win that, it's like that's a pretty good tournament. Or like when Morocco went on a crazy run, like that still gets like the fans and the country like so much excitement. So I think it's like really just how far can you push the boat, really. No
Yeah,
chance
so-
of winning it, but you could maybe sneak in unexpected round of 16. Who knows? Like
So
be very unexpected though.
That's almost the negative though, because if they get there, all of a sudden people are like, "Wait, I thought we weren't good. Now we're really good," and it's like we're not this good. So please don't get overly excited about it.
Yeah. So many terrible takes by Laird, as expected. So no, I really think Belgium is undervalued right now. I think they had like a very bad 2022, but I think 2026. I mean, Rudy Garcia, their manager, is probably one of the like most hated coach in France. He's French and he's coaching Belgium now. He coached Marseille, etc., and he was hated. Like everyone thinks he's a fool, but I think he's actually pretty decent, and I think they're going to go to the quarterfinals and maybe have one upset during the tournament. But like Mexico is going to like crush the United States, like in terms of like they're going to go farther than the US, because playing in their home or like playing in your country during like your World Cup is like you can't match that. And I think it's going to be hell for the countries that are going to face Mexico during like the World Cup. And I think like US home games are going to be boring as hell because United States fans don't know how to properly like animate like a football stadium. So it's going to be boring. It's going to be bad. And I think the US are going to manage to be like maybe best third place or maybe second, but they're going to at least I hope a shot to a upset, because I think like in a World Cup, especially in this format, I think we underestimate how upset happen in a World Cup, and I think they can go to a round of 16, and like I wouldn't be shocked by that. It's like I think it's manageable for the US squad is pretty talented, so. Especially with Malik Tillman, and I'm not saying that because I'm a big Tillman holder, but I think they have a shot to round of 16.
Who do you? So you've just kind of ran through a couple of the groups. One of the questions I put down is who's the surprise group winner? Now you've mentioned Belgium, and that leads perfectly onto my answer. So personally, I think the surprise group winner will be Group G, and I think it will be Egypt. Are we matching? Are we best friends?
Oh no,
friends. That means it's a shit take.
You're definitely wrong now. Pretend, just say something else. Don't worry.
Clip it. Sorry, cut it. Don't clip it. No, I'll back my take. I think in the group, the other two games are such easy 6-pointers for both Egypt and Belgium. I think the risk is, and I did make it in my notes, and for some reason I can't see it. Where is So Egypt played Belgium in the first game, and I just, for whatever reason, believe that if Egypt can nick a win, a 2-1, a 1-0, whatever it might be, they'll then go on to win the group, because they're not losing to New Zealand, they're not losing to Iran, so it's basically, in order to win the group, they have to beat one nation. And Maxime, you said it perfectly. I think it's 22, 20, even 2024, they've kind of been an absolute dog shit nation, Belgium. They've basically, for my whole memory of football, Belgium have been the underdogs. They've always been, but they've had Eden Hazard and Lukaku when he was in his prime, and Kevin De Bruyne, and your Axel Witsels, your Vincent Kompany's, your Courtois, like Jan Vertonghen and Thomas Vermaelen, like all these players that played at such high levels in the Premier League, but they're always the underdogs. Reality was they're just shit. Those players left. They fell off. I think they're having a bit of a resurgence, the likes of Doku and stuff like this. But I don't know. I think again, then I don't think they're underdogs, but I just think they're kind of like perfectly, scaled. So my surprise winner is Egypt. Laird, do you want to kind of run me through why you think Egypt as well, and then Maxime and Caleb can tell us why we're wrong?
So it was a kind of a combination of that. I think Egypt can beat Belgium, and then like you kind of explained it, like the rest of the group, nobody else is getting there, and so I think it's possible that whoever finishes third goes home. Like they're not going to be one of the best third place because they'll get pumped by Egypt and Belgium. But it's weird. Belgium have like a bunch of young players that like have been playing a little bit, but then ultimately, like you went through a number of players, Jan Vertonghen and I forget what the other one was, but there was like, if you told people they were still on the team, they'd be like, oh wow, yeah, that I believe that. And those guys are my age at this point. And so, yeah, Jeremy Doku's incredible. And so I think like he'll be great. We assume that Kevin De Bruyne is peak Kevin De Bruyne, despite being injured for most of the season. And they have like good young players, but they're just not, they're not world-class players. Like and it felt like Belgium was this nation that you said was always the underdog. And now we expect them to be good. And it's like, I think now they're not even better now.
Maxime's ripping his face off. Go on, tell us
No,
why it's so bad.
No,
It's 'cause they speak French there,
I need 2 minutes, so Caleb, go ahead.
Mine is just like, I think it's a bit crazy to back Egypt so much when like Salah's had just like the fall off of his career. Like you're basically like a team that gets carried so much by Salah, and like he's not that guy anymore as much. Like that's like not as bad as Ronaldo and Messi in terms of like the end of it, like towards the scale end of it. But I don't think he can carry them as much. Like the Belgium squad's still not bad, man. Like
no, it's not bad.
Still looking 1 for 1. They're by far the best in that kind of group.
100%.
So I just I don't really see that being able to play out, especially considering like Salah's on his downfall. He's not where he used to be. Maybe he turns up for the World Cup, but I just don't see it happening. Like I don't know if I can see that one paying out.
Who's your surprise group winner in that aspect then?
I think Norway. Maybe not as much of a surprise, but against like in a table that's like in a group that's strong. Like so that's my hardest group in like in what's to come. But like I think France is just like such a favorite. I think Senegal, given their AFCON like performance, is also such a favorite for the World Cup as a whole. If Norway managed to kind of sneak through and kind of get some wins, get a draw here or there, and they do win that table, like I think people would be insanely shocked. Like I don't think people have Norway really on their cards besides like hardcore fans. So if we're talking about like the wider spread, I think Norway could be the bigger shocker.
Yeah, agreed. I think Colombia goes second. In terms of like possible group winners, surprise group winners. But Andrew, like, give me 3 players that are not Mohamed Salah that are playing for Egypt.
I don't think I could give you. Yeah, Marmouche. That's the only one I can name.
Yeah,
sure. Is Trezeguet still there?
No, so I mean, come on, like, there's no way Egypt.
But
like,
that's why it's a surprise. That's why it's a surprise group.
Sure. But
it's like a Kinder egg. You don't expect it.
Iraq going out of the group would be a surprise as well, but no one is going to predict that because it's not going to happen. Like it's not. And I think Egypt is actually like, I don't think they can like be easy second place. So I guess like if you guys are right, you guys are geniuses, but definitely think you are nuts on this take.
So who finishes ahead of them, Iran or New Zealand?
Oh, I think Iran like has a shot. I mean, just because they're playing in the country that is bombing them. I mean, like if they're actually playing the games. I mean, like no, but I think this tournament is not about like talent and stuff like that. I cannot name Iran player. I mean, I'm not saying I know Iranian football, but I think in this tournament, it's especially in the group stage, it's all about like the dynamics, the atmosphere and stuff like that. And that's why I think Mexico and Colombia have like such strong cases in group stages, because I think Colombia is going to be like, Colombia games are going to be massively filled with Colombia supporters. And I think you don't have like much teams that have like this home advantage. I think the US don't have home advantage. Like most players don't play in the US, so they're going to be jet lagged, and like the stadium is going to be bad. Canada, like no one in Canada gives a damn about the World Cup, and I think Colombia, Argentina, like South American countries have like good atmospheres.
So I completely agree with you about the South American countries, and they'll travel well to the U.S. U.S. players, so U.S. players, the good U.S. players don't play in the U.S., and so they're going to be jet lagged, as opposed to every other player who's playing in this tournament that does play in the U.S., so they won't be jet lagged.
No, but I mean, you're going to be jet lagged, and you're going to play in a shit atmosphere. So you don't have like something that is like in your favor. And so I mean, like the U.S. to me is like, the fact that they're playing in their own country has like no effect on their performance because I don't think we will see like stadiums like, what was the last World Cup in? Qatar, yeah, not a good example, but Qatar had like a pretty good performance because they like everyone
South
in
Africa
Qatar was paid to.
reference.
No, but South Africa, I remember this well because we didn't play, but like we didn't train, we didn't play. There's a Netflix documentary on like what happened in the French squad during the World Cup, and you have to watch it because you will see that our coach at the time was actually like choosing players based on their I don't know what's the word in English, but when they were born basically, and they're I'm a Taurus. I think he didn't like Scorpio players, so he kicked out like Scorpio players because it wasn't like fitting well. But you have to watch that documentary. But anyway, I think the US is going to be a mess, but they have a shot because they have like a relatively easy group.
So I don't think I think America have more chance of finishing third in the group than they do finishing first. I don't think they've got an easy group at all, and I think they're shit. Like,
no, but I mean, everyone in the group is bad.
But so's America, and I think it scales it.
Oh, who's good in the USA group? Like, tell me.
Turkey.
Oh yeah.
Turkey will be third. That's what I mean. So the US have more of a chance of coming third than they do first, because, like I say, Turkey will easily be first. I don't even know anybody from Australia or Paraguay, but at the same time, I feel like they're probably as good as America.
Like, I confused the Canada group, where I think everyone is actually bad. Like Switzerland was actually good at some point, but I don't think they're good anymore. Bosnia Herzegovina is so bad. Like, you watch the Italy game, you don't want to watch it. And what's the last one? I think it's like a relatively small Qatar. So I think Canada has actually like the best shot at like getting to first place, like between Mexico, United States, and Canada. But no one gives a shit about the World Cup in Canada. They're like, what are we doing here? Are we paying for this? So, like,
was the documentary called The Bus?
Yeah.
So you're the second person today to tell me about that documentary.
Oh, you have to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you started watching football a year later, so you don't know about that yet. So
when was
we're
it?
educating you, bro.
To be honest,
2014.
Oh yeah, please.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I had watched at least 3 years of football by then.
No, sorry, 2010.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Before his time.
Football, I didn't even know football existed before then.
But I mean, straight away, there's shouts going out left, right, and centre. I wanna wheel it back. So something that we've mentioned before, Maxime, you kind of touched on Colombia, stuff like that. We've spoken about how many groups are full of shit teams. Apparently, Egypt are not allowed to win a game. But who's everybody's realistic dark horse that's not Belgium or the Netherlands? Because I know for a fact somebody's going to have thought one of those. So, Caleb, go on, you go first.
My two are Turkey and Norway. Obviously, Norway now probably is lesser because I think people seem to rate them a lot higher. But I'd say Turkey then. If not, then I just think Turkey naturally have some really good youngsters in there. Arda Güler always seems to really perform insanely well for Turkey as well. Like, he rarely takes that on. They're not on the hardest group either with the USA. So we've kind of explained that group's pretty easy for them. But yeah, I think Turkey just have it in them to also scrape wins against certain teams when it gets to the knockouts. So Turkey is my dark horse outside of Norway. If we're saying them as like kind of a consensus that they do well.
No, because they've got Güler, Kenan, Yildiz, and Çalhanoğlu, a few other kind of names in there. I don't hate that shout, to be honest. Go on, Laird, and don't say America.
No. So it's like you guys are reading my notes here. Like biggest disappointment, Mbappe, dark horse or surprise group winner, Egypt, dark horse nation. I wrote Turkey or Norway.
You see, that's the main problem. Is like, is the dark horse thing if too many people have that
Everybody's
consensus?
picking it.
Yeah, maybe.
Good point. I think.
Yeah, not looking good.
I think it was just the like thinking about how like the dark horse in terms of just how far you expect them to go. Like I think like Turkey have the same odds to win as like Croatia and Senegal, and like that. I think that's your dark, like that's the example of a dark horse right there. Whereas Norway have the same as Belgium. It's better than Colombia, better than Morocco.
Yeah, so I saw a simulation with Morocco actually like making it very like people are doing simulation and they have like odds at the end, and I saw one with Morocco being like very high in the ranks. I actually think they're going to be like not that good. Like obviously last one they went to the semifinals. No one knows how they got there, but they did. But I think, by the way, I think they have a shot at winning their group against Brazil, because first game, Brazil-Morocco, I think Morocco has a decent shot. And, after that, it's like 2 easy games for like relatively easy games. So I think Morocco might win their group, but I don't see them going past like, I think they have like a very difficult path towards like the semifinals after that, and I don't see them doing that again. But you have to pick one nation that is going to go to the semifinals, because I think you always have an upset, and I think Norway is the one that is actually like more likely to do that.
Decent. I'm just looking at the odds for some of the nations now. So my pick was Ecuador. Ecuador is a kind of nation that has just over the last couple of years, I think, flown under the radar massively. If you look at the squad list of Ecuador, in fact, I might even try and pull it up now, because I can. Basically, the point is, if I ask anybody to say who plays for Ecuador, you haven't got a clue. If I tell you who's played, but then yes, okay, so
the Champions League winner in that team. Come on.
Yeah, so well, exactly. I'm not going to read his name, but so Caicedo. Obviously, you got players like that, but there's a lot of players that have kind of played at a decent level and fallen down. But if you look at their results, there's got a lot of 0-0s, 1-0s, 1-1s, and I think they're a nation that will look. We know everybody's going to go through if you win one game. They're going to beat Curacao. Whether they beat, I don't think they lose to Ivory Coast. I think they'll go through in either second or third. And I think then in the knockouts, they're just the kind of team that on paper probably don't perform, but they might grind out a couple of wins. And if you're talking about a team that might get to the quarterfinals, for me, Ecuador's the shout. They're not going to win it. But if you look at Group E, Germany, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, and Curacao, everybody's basically saying Germany's won it. And I think they're the forgotten nation. That might just be absolutely horrible to watch if they're on at 3 AM for anybody in Europe, because it'll probably be a 0-0 going to penalties. But yeah, they're my kind of team that I think if as an England fan, I don't want England to pull them in the knockouts, because it's going to be an ugly game. Whereas the likes of Norway are very easy for me to sell as to why they're good. Ecuador is quite difficult.
Yeah, and looking at that group, like Ivory Coast is actually pretty good. I think I think they have a shot at because Germany is always choking World Cups, for the past editions, 2 past editions, they were pretty bad. And I'm pretty bullish on Germany, because I think they have a good coach. They have one of the strongest squads, but everyone is kind of underestimating them, because they had a bad track record in the recent years, and Euro didn't go so well as well. So Ivory Coast actually has a shot at beating Germany. Kind of a random game that could happen. And yeah, I have to say, maybe you're underestimating Ivory Coast by saying that they can't beat, like that they won't beat Ecuador. I
No,
think like Ivory Coast like
I don't
actually runs over them.
See, so you know that picture where it's it's like a Ferrari engine, and then the back of the car is just like a pencil drawing. That's what I see Ivory Coast as, when you've got like the Yan Diamondes and all these kind of names up front. But if you drift down Ivory Coast's team to kind of that core midfield defense, I mean, you've got Wolves players, you've got like, you know what I mean? Like that sells it for me. You've got Singo, the man who died on sport.fun. You know, I'm not saying they're a terrible team, but at the same time, I don't think they're, and like I say, I'm calling Ecuador to be a third place nation. I'm not calling them to go and, you know, be second by favourites. I think in terms of underdogs and dark horses, I think they'll grind out some results and get a few ugly results in the knockouts.
Yeah, by the way, Caleb, should we resurrect Singo for the World Cup?
Oh, it's a good shout. I didn't think about that. I'll have to raise that one. Technically, he will be playing. So
yeah, he will be probably playing like 4 games. So
let me put it in and let's see what we
point.
can do.
Let's buy first. Hold on, because it's not live now.
You can't.
No, awesome. We're gonna wrap it up in a minute, but I just want to kind of throw out two questions to each and every one of you. First question is, I want some bold predictions from you all. What's something that, if the World Cup was played 100 times over, it might happen once? I don't want to have, Norway will win. Give me something interesting. Give me something good. Give me Mo Salah's golden boot. You know what I mean? Make it interesting.
I think France don't make it out the round of 16 or past the round of 16. That would be mine.
Love it.
I'm going to say the same thing, but for England.
Oh, is that even a bold prediction?
Yeah.
So I think we skipped me on the biggest disappointment or whatever it was.
Did we? Apologies.
Most overrated team. There we go. I had Brazil down, but I was like, I don't think anybody actually rates Brazil anymore. So it feels to me as somebody who's like completely separated from the England national team, but speaks to way too many people who are very close to it, that for the last few big tournaments, the margin of error is so small with the way that they play, and everybody's like, oh, this is so great. Tuchel brought the guys that are like really going to get it done, leaving effectively all creativity out of the team. And it just feels like they've been on a razor's edge when you like look at results in these big games. I'm not like they're going to get out of the group, like nothing crazy like that. But all of a sudden, like the penalty doesn't get called and now Harry Kane doesn't score. And it's like things can happen. And it just feels like they go out early and all of a sudden everyone's like, we've seen this coming, but you don't see that until after it happens.
I feel like England kind of like underrated, don't you think? Like I think like in the past everyone's been like England's can do it this year. I don't think we're even in like the top 3 or 4 in shouts for this World Cup. Like I think which I think like actually benefits them, because I think normally there's too much pressure on England. Everyone always thinks this is the year. I don't think that's there anymore. But yeah, Palmer, what were you? No, you can jump in.
I was going to say, just because everybody hates you doesn't mean that you're overrated. You're underrated.
I guess when you look at England now under Southgate, it reminds me of like Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. You know, they were so happy with that 4th place. Like Arsenal for so long was so happy with nearly getting there, but never having the glory. And I think Southgate kept his job because he kept getting so close. You know, he'd get to the semi-finals, the finals, whatever, but he would never be able to get it over the line because, like you say, Laird, as soon as that decision and that luck doesn't fall in your favour, it's game, set and match. I actually flip it around completely. And I think when you say we've got no creativity, my boldest prediction is that Harry Kane is going to get more minutes in the number 10 role than he will up front because of that creativity. And it goes back to why I think he'll be golden boot. I think Watkins has been an absolute blinder. There will be games where Kane starts up front, but I think as the tournament goes later on, we might even see Jude Bellingham on the bench, Kane in the 10, Watkins up top. So that is my bold prediction, that I think the way Tuchel's setting up his team is purely about creativity going forwards and structure defensively. We're not having to rely on putting Jude in, putting Foden in, putting Gibbs White in and hoping that they make a moment, hoping that they, dribble past 3 players and win a penalty. I think he's going to actually be able to create moments through using Kane, how Kane plays at Bayern Munich, dropping in that deeper role. As we saw Mourinho use him in Spurs years and years and years ago, kind of playing deeper with Son up top. I think we'll use that structure. So yeah, my bold prediction is that Harry Kane sees more minutes in the number 10 than he does up front. And Maxime's probably going to be that France win it all 5-0 every game or something daft.
No, I think IT is going to win 2 games and make it to the round of 16.
Who do you think they beat in the group?
They beat Scotland. I think they managed to get a draw, like a random draw. Well, I think they can make at least like second place or at least like third place and go through the third place. And I think they can be an upset watch squad. Because again, I think the stadium is going to root hard for them. Even like people not like Asian people going to the game. I think everyone is going to root for the underdog, and they're playing pretty well. They just beat like New Zealand 4-0. I don't say New Zealand is a good squad, obviously, but I mean they need to win one game. I think they can win against Scotland, and you never know what can happen in the round of 32.
Did you just watch the SDFN video about Haitian football or no?
No.
If you watch the video, you will literally pick them to win the World Cup.
No. I saw content around IT like playing well and stuff like that. So I think like they're playing without any pressure. They're playing like close to home. Hey, you said that was something that happens once in 100 simulations. So I think that pretty much applies it.
No, I rate it. And I suppose that even touches on the final question. Caleb has about 10 to pick through, but if we're not going for our home nation, what nation's everybody watching, wanting to win, wanting to perform well? Who's everybody backing? Maxime, I'll go straight to you on this one.
Well, I was prepared to say no one, because like every French citizen that respects himself like knows that you cannot support any other country in the world except France. But I will say Haiti.
It's a good one. I mean, mine's like either I'll go Bafana. I'd like to see South Africa get a win. They got a win, and maybe they sneak through. That would be a good moment. So yeah, I'll say South Africa.
And Laird, who are you supporting when America get knocked out? I'm
going to take Haiti. I'm going to take Turkey, excuse me, because I'll be like, well, they won the group that we were in, so obviously they're the best team in the world.
I'm taking Uruguay. Darwin Núñez, love the bloke. Was sad to see him leave Liverpool. He's a free agent. I'd love to see him back. I've got the Uruguay shirt on delivery.
Is that purely for entertainment? Like that has to be just for entertainment, not pure love for like his footballing ability. Like it has to be.
It's like a bit of both. Do you know what I mean? Like
you love him because he was so close to being great, but like he was like he was like on that perfect line of like if he was 5% better, he could have been a great striker. But because he was 5% worse, he was shit. Like it was such small margins with him.
I don't think he was shit at all. And you watch it this season. I'm going to go on a tangent, and Maxime's like, shit, I need to go. I'm going to go on a tangent here because Darwin Núñez was not shit. He was the creative outlet. Right. I'll put it in 3 categories for a striker. Okay. So you've got striker number 1. He never creates his own chances, but every chance you get, he'll score. You think Olivier Giroud. You've got striker number 2. He'll create himself 20 chances a game. He might score 1. You've got Darwin Núñez. And then striker number 3 is he creates 20 chances a game. He'll probably score 20. You've got your Henry, Sergio Aguero's. So, I always put a striker into one of those categories, and Darwin Núñez is in that second category of he'll get 20 chances a game, and every time you're like, he's not going to score, but please score. And
So
he creates
entertaining,
moments.
though.
You know,
So
like
entertaining.
against Newcastle, he comes on, just fucking changes the game because of his energy. He's high pressing. He's going through you like Willie, won't he? Oh my god, he's done it. So Darwin Núñez, Uruguay, 100%. I'm game.
I feel like
for it,
he's
but-
got he's like due a Uruguayan moment of like doing something
Mm.
insanely reckless. Like there needs to be like some insanely reckless moment from Darwin Núñez, because like he's very sporadic. He's a crazy, like the way he even just like plays football
Yeah.
is like crazy, like Uruguayans tend to be. He just needs that moment where like a red card or a headbutt or something like that, and I think he'd
you know,
fit
like-
right in.
You know, James Rodriguez, was it 2010 or 2014, where he chested it down, flicked it up, and volleyed it? We're watching the Darwin Núñez edge of the box bicycle kick, and I'm calling it now. It's going to be clipped for decades. I'm going to be celebrating. So we'll leave it there. Darwin Núñez for president. Fuck it. Thank you so much for joining us, guys, and thank you everybody for tuning in 3 times potentially by the time this. This gets back out. It's been a roller coaster. Massive thank you, Caleb, for joining us. Massive thank you, Maxime, for joining us. It's always good to see you, Laird. We'll wrap it up there, and we'll be back next week for another episode of the Third Half podcast.
Amazing. Thanks, guys.